Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Aerobiz Supersonic Retro Let's Play. So yes, Aerobiz Supersonic, a game from my childhood. Next to SimCity, the original SimCity, this game is probably one of the most significant and well-enjoyed games I had back in the Super Nintendo era. This is a Super Nintendo game, came out in 1994, and it was largely my introduction to business simulation games. In this particular game, you take the role of an airline CEO, and your goal is basically to expand your passenger service to all the corners of the world, dominate in passenger totals, and making money, and generally just beating the ever-living heck out of your competition. But you've got three other companies in the world that are trying to do the exact same thing to you. It is a fairly deep and dynamic strategy game that is still accessible to someone who's never really played a strategy game before, and I'd say it's largely responsible for my interest in the strategy and simulation genres. Yeah, I decided, you know what, let's do a retro Let's Play, and as soon as I thought of retro Let's Play, I wanted to bring this gem out there for you. You may not have ever heard of it. I never heard of it until I saw it in Blockbuster. So yes, Aerobiz Supersonic. Let's fasten our seatbelts and get started, shall we? We shall. Okay, so let's start ourselves a brand new game here. Now, the interesting thing about this game and what makes it so replayable is that there are 4 different scenarios that you can choose to play your game in. Each of these has different strategic and tactical elements to it. Not only is the available technology different, but the geopolitical structure of the world is going to be different. And they actually did their homework. So the way history planned out in these earlier eras, they got down just perfectly right. Now, keeping in mind that this game was made in 1994, so the late half of Era 3 and the entirety of Era 4 is all speculation. So I think for the lulz, we're going to play in the 4th era. Having seen most of the time span of the 4th era ourselves, we can see how accurate they are and how wildly inaccurate they are in terms of guessing what happens with the world and what kind of things come out. So let's get started here. Supersonic travel. The age of conventional jet air travel has passed. Now the only way to fly is supersonic. No, it's not. No. Supersonic kind of went away. Sorry, game. I know that's where you wanted to go with this, and I know that you made it your subtitle name, but no. Sorry, you whiffed on that one. Now, interestingly enough, though, they do get a few things right. All right, let's get started. Oh, the other thing that is of interest here is the difficulty levels. Now, obviously, glider is easy, supersonic is hard, but the way they implement the difficulty levels is very interesting. Yes, on the harder difficulty levels, you start out with less cash, and it is generally harder to get more passengers and just generally be successful altogether. But that penalty is applied to everybody, including your AI opponents. But interestingly, as the difficulty levels go up, the AI actually gets more intelligent. The difficulty levels behave the way they should. It actually makes the AI smarter on the harder levels. So it's not like it's lavishing the AI with unfair bonuses or perks just to keep up with the human. It actually makes them stronger, more aggressive, and more intelligent. And they can be pretty nasty on Supersonic, and I haven't played this game in a decade, so I think I'm going to stick with Turbo here for our difficulty level, just to keep things, split the difference here. All right, now let's get started. Okay, we can have up to 4 human players in a hot seat style game, or you could just watch the AI beat each other up on the demo version, but we're just going to be doing 1 player here. All right, now we can choose what region we want to go to here. In terms of where we're going to be going, I think I'm going to stick with, I mean, you can pretty much go just about anywhere. Now, granted, not every single city in the world is represented in the game, but enough, you get enough of a cross-section that you have a very wide variety of starting locations. But I think I'm going to start in my home territory, my IRL home territory of North America. And I'll start with you can only start in the green cities, which are considered the major ones. I'm going to start in the major city that is closest to my real life home, and that will be New York City. I don't actually live in New York City. I don't think I could ever, but we're fairly close to that. All right, let's see where our opponents started. So we've got Iranian, started in Tehran. Airmex started in Mexico City, and ooh boy, Sunrise started in Tokyo. That's going to be a tough competitor right there, because Tokyo is one of the really good cities out there. But you know what? I think we can handle ourselves. Let's change our name here. Why not? Go with, let's see if this, no, I think it's too long. But I think, I'm feeling a little narcissistic here, so let's go with Pinstar. I-N-S-T-A-R. There we go, just barely fits, perfect. We can keep everyone else as their normal names here. As for color, let's choose a different color. Let's decrease the red a little bit here. Maybe increase the blue. Ooh, I'm liking that midnight purple there. Yeah, all right, perfect. Oh, wrong button. Sorry about that. Yes, I am using a USB controller. Because this is the emulator on this thing still thinks we're playing it on a Super Nintendo. So yeah. Alright, so we're good here. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get started here. Alright, so the way this game works is it's a turn-based strategy where everyone gets to take a turn, and then time advances, and then everyone gets to take another turn. The order of the turns is kind of randomized each set of turns, but who goes first and who doesn't go first doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, it's okay that we went third here. We're not going to be losing out on anything here. Okay, so congratulations on your promotion to CEO. Our goal is to expand operations to every region and gain the #1 market share in 6 regions of 7 within 20 years. Be careful. If financial losses continue for a year, you'll go bankrupt and lose the game. Let's go get them. We'll be the best airline in no time at all. All right, so here we are. We've got ourselves our home city of New York. And we've got another number of slots in other cities across from here. Going through some of the basics here. As an airline, you gotta make money. And the way you make money is you gotta make routes. Now, the way you make a route is that you need to have slots in both your home city and your destination city. So we've got 44 slots in New York, and then we've got a smattering of freebie slots around here. We're not going to necessarily use all of them because not all those cities are worth our time and attention, but I see a couple of them that are. So let's get things started. Now, you can only have 1 hub per route, so all of our flights within North America have to originate from New York City. We couldn't do, like, for example, LA to Honolulu, for example. But that's okay. New York's a pretty darn good starting location, if I don't say so myself. So let's go up here to San Francisco. We like the longer routes here. Now, you have a whole slew of planes to choose from. You start with some freebie planes, but you can also buy new planes of different types and varieties. They each have their own strengths and weaknesses here. The mile range is how the maximum distance the plane can travel. In this fourth era, most of the planes have really, really high distances that they can travel. So, yeah, range is not as much of a consideration in the fourth era. They're also usually pretty huge, so good passenger carrying capacities. The efficiency, you have fuel efficiency and maintenance efficiency, represented by the gas pump and the wrench there. Those ratings are out of 100, with higher being better, so the higher the rating, the cheaper it is to maintain and gas up the plane. Alright, so we got the MD-11, the MD-12. Interestingly enough, the company actually secured the right to use the names and likenesses for all of the historical aircrafts. All the aircraft that actually exist in real life, like the MD-11, you can see the little trademark there. That's actually what the MD-11 looks like, and has specs similar to its real-life counterpart. So it's sort of like the Madden of aircraft simulators, to where you get to use Madden, you get to use all the players' names and likenesses of the actual NFL. Here we get to play with the names and likenesses of real-life planes. Now, once you start getting into the more speculative planes like the MD-12 here, they're just taking a guess at a model that might exist. We're not going to do a 12 here, though. This is going to be a shorter one. We're going to do the MD-100, the smaller plane here. Carries 200 people, very efficient, though. So yeah, we're going to go with that. Let's start with 2 planes. Each plane can add a number of flights per week. Yeah, and the first plane adds 2, the second one adds 3, the third one adds 2 more. So we're gonna put it at 5 and see what that does. We can always adjust it later on. So 5 flights, that uses up 5 slots in New York and 5 slots in San Francisco. We're going to keep the fare nice and average for now. We can always tweak that up or down later on. Alright, so let's go open our route here. I love how they have our company color on all of our planes. So whenever you see one of our planes in any of the different screens, it's always going to have our color on it. It's a nice little touch. Alright, let's open up another flight here. Again, we want the longer distance ones. The shorter distance ones don't really give us enough oomph to make it worth it. Like, different cities have different statistics. I'll show you this once we go to Seattle here. So yeah, let's do another mid-haul here to Seattle, the MD-100. Let's do another pair of them. 5 flights a week. Average fare. And we'll open the route. Unfortunately, we have to sit through this little cutscene every time we open a route. But we're not going to be opening routes quite as often in the future. But in the early game, big flurry of activity here. So in terms of the cities, the cities are pretty well realized to what their real-life counterparts are. Again, since we're in the future, they kind of had to extrapolate what the population and economic numbers were like. But if we go here to, say, for example, San Francisco, we've got 0.9 million people, an economy rating of 78 out of 100, which is actually pretty good, and a tourism rating of 68 out of 100. Which is also pretty good. So that determines the size of the city determines how many people there are there who want to actually go, potentially fly in an airport. The economy rating determines the percentage. It's not strictly 78%, but the percentage of the population that can actually afford or actually want to fly on an airline, go on vacation. And then the tourism rating is how popular this city is as a destination for other cities who might want to be going out and looking for tourism. So while this city isn't that big, it is a fairly good tourist location. Let's take a look at Seattle here. Seattle, much lower tourism rating, but still a decent economy rating. But I have a feeling our San Francisco route's going to be doing a lot better than our Seattle route, even given equal thing. Looking at our home city of New York here, Yeah, 8.5 million, 86 economy rating, and a 40 tourism. So people don't want to go to New York, but they definitely want to come from New York and looking for places for tourism. Alright, so we got our routes set up here. Our next step here is to get more slots. What the slots that you see right here are the only ones we have at the moment. But we can start negotiating for slots in other countries and also in other cities. And there's plenty of other opportunities to be had here. So the way you get more slots is you have a total of 4 different agents, and all companies have 4 different agents, and you have to use an agent to negotiate for slots. So it doesn't really matter. Each of the agents are pretty much, even in terms of their effectiveness. So it's not like, you have your agent that's good at this and your agent that's good at that. It's just more of a resource that you have to manage. You can't negotiate for more slots if all your agents are busy. All right, so let's get some slots to LA. The classic New York to LA is going to be a very popular route. Fortunately, we can only ask for 5 at the moment. Excuse me. But we will ask for the 5. It takes 6 months. Now, each turn in this game takes 3 months. So basically, they're saying that these slots will be ready in 2 turns. So yes, we shall negotiate. Alright, so she's occupied. Let's have him take a shot at something. Why don't we go to Honolulu? Honolulu is it's got a tiny population, small economy, but look at that tourism rating. I think a lot of New Yorkers are going to want to go to Honolulu. So we're going to negotiate here, for 5 slots to Honolulu. But now let's start thinking international here. Let's get some international going here. Let's say New York to somewhere in East Asia. Now, one of our competitors has founded themselves in Tokyo, and if we were to make a route to Tokyo and a hub in Tokyo, we would be basically directly competing with them on everything. That's not a good thing, because every road they make within Southeast Asia, we'd be fighting them neck and neck, and that's not good for business. So let's find the next best option. I mean, Tokyo is a really awesome city to go into. It's 17.6 million, 76 economy rating, 50 tourism. Pretty darn good place. But let's find number 2. Now, there's Hong Kong here, but that's owned by China. China, one other thing you have to take into consideration, see the relations button up there in the upper right? It's orange. There's 4 different relations. There's a cordial, which is green, friendly, which is blue, neutral, which is orange here, and then hostile, which is red. When it comes to slot negotiations, the less friendly countries will make you take longer and often not give you as many slots as you are asking for, and generally just be a pain in the butt. So we're not going to want to go into Hong Kong here. Let's check for somewhere else. Manila, maybe. We got Bangkok. That's possible. Let's see what their relations with us are here. See, they're friendly. 70 economy, but less tourism. Let's see what else. Singapore. That's a possibility. We could springboard off of Singapore. Yeah, look at that. Well, it's a smaller population. Good economy, less tourism though. What else do we have up here? Seoul. Let's look at Seoul here. Ooh, actually Seoul's really good. Yeah, let's do Seoul. I'm game for Seoul, although it is really close to Tokyo, and that'd be missing out on that. But well, we can do that. We can do that. We can find some good stuff. So let's negotiate for some slots in Seoul. Our friends in Korea. So they are friendly with us. So it's a step down from the cordial, which we get in our own country, but they're still generally not going to be a jerk to us in terms of that. Yeah, all right. So sometimes with friendly ones, it can take 9 months instead of 6 months. That's okay. We can make do with that. We can deal with that. It is worth the wait. And now our last person here, we're going to negotiate for slots in another direction. Instead of there, let's go to Europe. Nobody's in Europe, I don't think. So let's nab something really nice. Let's go for, we could do London, or we could do, let's do Rome. I like Rome. You like Rome? I like Rome. Oh, here's one thing that the game got right. So the EU didn't exist back in '94, at least as far as I could tell. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I didn't actually look that up, but I don't think it did. But the game actually predicted the formation of it. So a bunch of the European countries in this particular scenario form the what they call in this game the EC, the European Community, which is essentially the European Union. So that's one thing the game got. They guessed right. So kudos to them for that. Let's see. Rome 5. Do we want Rome? Got good tourism, decent economy. Maybe not Rome. Maybe Paris? We got higher population, good economy, good tourism. Then there's the classic New York to London. We could always poke our head into there. Much better economy. Yeah, let's poke our head into London. Although, you know what, since we're playing off in New York, we probably want someone with higher tourism. So actually, let's do Paris. New York to Paris. We're going to station our base here. Ooh, another 9-monther. Yeesh. I'm getting unlucky here with some of our setups here, but that's okay. We'll wait. We'll probably be a turn behind some of the other AIs that won't have to wait that much, but we'll be okay. Now here, this button here, allows us to order more aircraft. We could do that, but it only takes 3 months, i.e. 1 turn, to deliver an aircraft to you. So yeah, we don't need to worry about that too much. Oh, that's the other thing. With slots, in addition to bidding for them, you can also return them. Holding on to slots, whether or not you're using them, costs you money. Not a ton of money, but it's still upkeep. And for the places that you're probably not going to be going to, you want to give them back so that you're not paying for them. I don't think I'm going to be going to Phoenix. Sorry, Phoenix. Your tourism rating is just way too small, as well as your population. No one wants to go to Phoenix. Denver. Yeah, again, small city, small tourism rating. So not on our list here. Sorry, Denver. The other slots I'm going to keep around just in case I need to expand those routes to carry more passengers. Alright, so I think our next thing is our budgets here. So the budgets determine how much you're paying per quarter here and what service level you're operating at. The green line is how good our service is. The yellow arrow is what the industry average is. And the little white tick tells us what we're shooting for with our current budget. So for example, repair, we're at maximum budget and it's only going to increase it by a little bit. But if we drop it to just raise, which is going to just increase it a little bit, it'll save us a little money, but not actually drop the quality any lower. Actually, raise and maximum is actually the same amount of money here, so let's keep it at maximum then. Probably a little rounding thing here. Ads, yeah, we're behind the curve, so we're going to keep that at maximum. Service, let's keep that at maximum for now. We can always revisit this later. Alright, that's all we can do for this turn, so let's end our turn. Alright, Tokyo and Bangkok, negotiations with Sydney, negotiations with Singapore, and they're going for some MD-12s. Bought a hotel. I'll go into buying things. Tunis is currently the hot spot for tourists. So yeah, the ratings for Tunis are now through the roof, but it's only a temporary buff. I don't think we'd be able to tap into that quite fast enough. Alright, well, we've got plenty of passengers going there. South America, and lots of people are profitable here. So in this particular screen, the green lines are the amount of revenue the company made, the red lines are the amount of expenses, and if revenues exceeded expenses, the pink line is your profits. So we made 177.60K in revenues, giving us a profit of 9,940K. So everyone was profitable here, and we're pretty much neck and neck, except for for Iranian. Yeah, the Middle East is not a good starting place, so I don't think Iranian's going to be doing too well in this game. But yeah, we're rocking the passenger totals here. Alright, Iranian's opening more routes. Trying to tap into London, Mexico City, and Buenos Aires. Going to London. And here we are. Alright, let's take a look at our routes here. So New York to San Fran is currently rocking 100% capacity. So we could increase our fare, or we can add more planes to it. I want to add more planes to it. Because clearly lots of people want to go to San Francisco. These planes only carry 200 people a pop. So getting more of them on board here is probably in our best interest. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna just add. Yeah, there we go. We'll add both of our MD-100s to this because I like this route a little bit more than our other one. Let's take a look at Seattle. Although Seattle is doing pretty well too. We still have some slots to add to Seattle too. So why don't we order a couple more MD-100s because they're pretty good for the small haul ones. I'm not going to use them for the bigger international routes, but yeah, MD-100s. These things are nice and cheap. Can make us a good amount of money in our local areas here. Yeah, two more of these beasts. Alright, so we got the 2 planes ordered. And yes, it takes 3 months for delivery. Notice the efficiency ratings, much higher than some of the bigger planes. Granted, it only carries 200 people, and it can only go 4,680 miles, so you're not going to get some big things. But again, they're not meant for international flights. They're more for national ones. We still have 3 months to go on our... no, 6 months to go on our big slot negotiations here. But 3 months to go on here. So actually, let's go back and order some planes for these routes. So to New York to LA, we're going to want something higher capacity. And same with New York to Honolulu. So let's go back here. Now, McDonnell Douglas is a good supplier. And we do actually have some planes. We have MD-11s, not too bad. MD-12s, not bad either. But there's another plane that I like a little bit more than the McDonnell Douglases, and that actually is in Boeing. Now there's some interesting mechanics at work here. The way the manufacturers work and the way they how much they cost to you. If over 50% of your fleet is of a specific manufacturer's plane, they give you a 10% discount on the price. They don't tell you this, but they do. You get a 10% discount. So we get 10% discount from McDonnell Douglas, but I kind of like Boeing a little bit more. The other thing that impacts the price is your relationship with the country of origin. Both Boeing and McDonnell Douglas are American companies, and since we're an American company too, they love us, so they give us a little price break. If we were, for example, a China company ordering from them, they would charge us a bit more. But I like the 777s. I love the 777s for mid-range planes. I mean, these things are just really freaking awesome. And then if we go over to the 747-400s, that is the largest seat capacity in the game at the moment. Yes, lower fuel and maintenance ratings, but it's still not bad. And if you can fill the plane, it more than makes up for the lower efficiency ratings. So we're actually going to start swinging our loyalty here to Boeing here. So yeah, we're going to be paying full price for these first few planes, but as we go along here, we'll overtake our McDonnell Douglas holdings. So yeah. We're going to want 2 planes for the LA route and 2 more planes for the Honolulu route. That'll be coming next turn, so 4 planes in total. Yeah, we're not going to need quite as many flights with them because those have higher seat capacities. 160 more people can fly on each plane compared to those MD 200s, 100s, something like that. But since we have the spare slots and we've got the spare planes for the others, we can stick to the MD-100s for our first two routes here. And we're not going to have to worry about buying planes for our international ones until those come due. All right, so yeah, let's carry on, shall we? Actually, in our next episode, we will see the results of the end of this turn and go about our conquest of the world of airlines here. So if you like this episode and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya.